Hello everyone, my name is Ivan, and today I will present a complete lesson plan based on Bandura's social learning theory and the concept of learning through modeling and observation. Additionally, the entire lesson plan is structured using block taxonomy, especially the six cognitive stage: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. For this lesson, the learning objective is for students to recognize, understand, and correctly use regular verbs in the past simple tense. Throughout the lesson, I will be the main model, meaning that students will learn through observing my behavior, imitating the patterns I demonstrate, and gradually producing their own original content. This lesson plan is not only meant to teach grammar, it is also designed to show how social learning and observational learning work in the classroom environment. Students will watch, listen, compare, evaluate, and eventually create new language by building on the model I provide. Let me know what you through each step of the lesson in detail. Step number 1. Remembering Ivan's storytelling model. We begin with the first stage of the Bloom taxonomy, remembering. On this stage, I present a short, simple story about my activities the day before. I say sentences like, yesterday I cooked pasta, then I washed my dishes, later I visited my friend, finally I watched a movie before going to sleep. Each sentence is accompanied by a clear picture or illustration. This activity represents the attention phase of Bandura's social learning theory. The student's attention is focused entirely on me as the model. They observe how I pronounce the verbs, how I form the past tense, and how I use visual aids to support meaning. This step also aligns perfectly with modeling and observational learning. The students are not required to produce anything yet. Instead, they passively absorb the input. Their first contact with the target structure happens through observation, no memorization or explanation. By listening to the story and seeing the pictures, students begin to form mental patterns that will later help them use the past tense on their own. Step number 2. Understanding sentence sorting activity. We now move to Bloom's second level, understanding. After hearing my story and observing how I use the verbs, students receive a set of verb cards. Some cards contain verbs in the present tense, while others show the past tense forms. Students must sort the verbs into two groups, present tense and past tense. Then, students explain the difference in the simple terms. For example, one student can say, these verbs have ed termination, so they are in the past tense. This activity demonstrated the retention phase of Bandura's theory. Students have moved from simple observing to mentally organizing the information they observed earlier. The action of sorting helps them internalize the structure. They are not just recalling the pattern, they are explaining it. Through modeling observations, students compare the forms on the cards to the example. Their understanding becomes deeper because it comes from comparing, constructing, and verbalizing the pattern. This stage prepares them for independent production. Now we have the step number 3, applying my yesterday routine well. Next is the Bloomster stage, applying. In this activity, each student receives a small paper wheel divided into sections. Each section contains a picture for a different action. For example, cleaning, starting, playing, opening a door, calling someone, painting, helping, walking, etc. The students choose three actions and convert them into the past tense. For example, clean, cleaned, help, paint, painted. The students form meaningful sentences such as, yesterday I cleaned my room. Yesterday I helped my mom. Yesterday I painted up a picture. This activity perfectly matches Bandura reproduction phase. The students start to imitate the model, that is, the structure I demonstrate in the story. They are using the past tense in personal relevant context, but the pattern comes from the example I showed. From the modeling perspective, this is where students begin to do the behavior themselves after watching it. It's the bridge between passive observation and active production. At this stage, the students are applying the pattern, but they are still using the model as the reference. Now, we have the step number 4, analyzing, and the activity is spot the mistake. Now we move to Bloom 4 stage, like I said before, analyzing. I present five example sentences on the board. Some are correct, while others contain typical mistakes. The sentences are: yesterday I went to school, I played soccer with my brother, she watched a movie, they cooked dinner, we cleaned the house. Students read each sentence and decide, is it correct? If no, if not, what is wrong? How can we fix it? This activity requires students to look closely at details, compare forms, and analyze the differences. From Bandura's viewpoint, this is a deeper form of observational learning. Students compare the correct structures I modeled early to these error sentences. They must think critically, not just record or imitate. Through modeling observation, students develop the ability to distinguish between accurate and inaccurate forms based on what they notice in the original model. This stage is important because students learn not only from correct examples, but also from contrast, which strengthens their understanding. Then we have step number 5, evaluating. Peer sentence ratings is the name of the activity. In this activity, students write 4 of their own sentences using regular past tense verbs. After writing they exchange papers with a partner. Each partner must rate each sentence according to this scale. Number 1 is incorrect, number 2 is almost correct, and finally, number 3 is perfectly correct. But the most important part is the justification. They must explain their rating by referring back to the model 1 demonstrating. For example, this sentence is incorrect because the verb is still in present. Another example can be, this one is almost correct, but the spelling is wrong. And finally, another example is, this sentence is perfect because he used the correct ed ending. From Bandura's perspective, this involves motivation, reinforcement, and self-regulation. Students judge others' work using the knowledge they gain from observing me. They also receive feedback from classmates, which helps reinforce the correct grammatical behavior. From the modeling perspective, this phase transforms the model, me, into a reference for accuracy. Students evaluate each other using the model as a standard. This step encourages independence, critical thinking, and metalinguistic awareness. And then finally we have the step number 6. The phase of Bloom is creating, and the activity is comic strip in past simple. Finally, we reach the highest level of Bloom taxonomy, creating. Students create a 4-panel comic strip illustrating what they did yesterday. They must write 1 sentence per panel, using the past simple tense. For example, panel 1, I visited my grandpa. Panel 2, I painted the pictures. Panel 3, I washed my dog. Panel 4, I played the guitar. This final stage shows full mastery. The students are not copying my examples anymore. They are generating new ideas and new sentences entirely on their own. In Bandura's theory, this demonstrates full internationalization of the model behavior. After observing, retaining, reproducing, and evaluating, students are now creating. From the modeling observation perspective, this stage provides a students no longer dependent entirely on the model. They can produce original meaningful language that still follows the pattern they observed earlier. This is the ultimate goal for any lesson plan. This is the ultimate goal of any lesson based on social learning. Students transform modeled behaviors into their own creations. So to conclude, this lesson plan brings together the structures of Bloom taxonomy and the principles of the Bandura's social learning theory. especially modeling and observation. Throughout the lesson, I serve as the main model. Students observe my behavior, they classify and understand information, they reproduce it in guide activities, they analyze correct and incorrect forms, they evaluate each other works, and finally, they create their own original product. This combination leads to rich, meaningful learning that is social, interactive, and cognitive depth. So that's all. Thank you for listening to my presentation.